Hi BookTube, it's Stephanie. Today I'm going to share with you all the books that I got in March, and I need to put a stop on this because this is a lot of books. In March I had a book slump that were really severe. I didn't pick up anything for over a week in the beginning after the Gilded Wolves. So yeah, the other months I basically bought either less books than I read or at least the same amount. This month I definitely got more books. A lot of these are from the book sale. Some books I did buy full price, but the other 8 I did buy because of the book sale, or they arrived in March even though I paid for them in February. The first one, and this is one that did I buy this full price? No, I did not. This was 10% off. This is Dragonbound by Tia Harrison. This is a book that I need to read for my Goodreads Choice Award 2011 challenge. Yeah, I feel like I've talked about this kind of a lot, which feels weird, but this is about a world where there are 3 types of people: humans, verse, which are kind of like werewolves, werecats, things like that, and fae. And we are following a main character who's half human, half ver, who gets basically treated badly because of it, because humans are not really that popular. It's a paranormal romance. I'm expecting a fun and, if nothing else, very easy read. It has tiny text. It's just over 300 pages, but the text is absolutely tiny. Yeah. But it's on my TBR for April, so I will get this out of the way. The next book was also 10% off because I used the code, and that's Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Morello Garcia. This one is part of the BookTube SFF for nominees for 2020 in the fantasy category. Now, because of my reading slump and me not reading and me not actually having read a single book on the BookTube SFF nominee list, I'm skipping the fantasy category, but this was still on my TBR, not just because it was on that one. And this one takes place in the 1920s and has something to do with Mayan death gods and things like that. I have a friend that has read this, and she texted me and say, have a dictionary nearby. Yeah. The next book is The 10,000 Dwarfs of January by Alex E. Harrow. This is a debut novel that's nominated for the BookTube SFF in the debut category. Another one that was already on my TBR. And this is about January, who in her uncle's mansion stumbles upon a book that takes her to different places. I don't really know more about it, and I don't want to know about it. A lot of people really have enjoyed this and really loved it, so I'm looking forward to it too. Then we have the first one that I bought full price, which I still don't think I paid too much about. A Memory Called Empire by Arcady Martin. As I said, huge reading slump in the beginning of March, so I really enjoyed this book that I got it from my library, and I really liked it, but after having it a week overdue, and I basically had read like 15 pages during that time, I had to return it, but I really liked it. It was the only book I felt like reading at the time, so I got it, and I don't really know what to say about it. This was how far I'd gotten into it, so I really don't know what to say. It's about a new ambassador trying to solve a murder, and it's very... I think I need to finish this to be able to say something more cohesive about it, to be honest. But I am really liking it, and so far I would say that if you are primarily a fantasy reader, this would be a great book to read, and that's sci-fi, because it has a lot of similar feelings, I guess, as a fantasy would give, except with this sci-fi. So very very good and very, I don't recall the English word right now, but accessible. There we go. So if you read a lot of fantasy and not a lot of sci-fi, at least about a third of the way into this, I would say that this would be a good one to pick up if you want to try some sci-fi. This is another of the books that I got full price, so I have just one more left. And this is 16th Watch by Mark Cole. He wrote a trilogy of novellas. I don't recall what the first one was called. I was not really into that one, but I know a lot of people were. This one intrigued me more. In this we follow a captain who's ready for retirement, but as she is supposed to be retired, her ship gets blown up, and she gets thrust into the role in another unit and needs to try to prevent a war on the moon. So let's continue with the cheap books I bought in February but arrived in March. We have here Liftons Parallel till Galaxen by Jens Wahlgren. This is, the title is basically making fun of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but it's more about basically guide has been translated to dictionary. I don't really know how to translate the word parallel, but this it talks about languages, make-believe languages in fantasy and sci-fi. So we have here Valerian, Pingu, Klingon, Elfish, a lot of them, and I really like the cover in which there are spines with, oh, Simlish as well. I really like the cover that has these like book things, so like if it was on a bookshelf and you just look through all the languages. And I also really like what it looks like underneath the dust jacket with all these languages. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. So it's about language and things like that. And which one is it that they start with? I don't really know what it starts with, but it talks about languages in fantasy and sci-fi. The next one I got on the sale was Konstnärlig i kroppar, Josef Lister och den moderna kirurgens födelse by Lindsay Fitzharris. And the English title, because I could not memorize it, was The Butchering Act, Art. The Butchering Art, Joseph Lister's quest to transform the grisly world of Victorian medicine fantasy. Wow, am I reading a lot of fantasy? So this is a non-fiction about surgery. And yeah, Victorian medicine and surgery and how it developed, I guess. Really looking forward to this. This has been on my TBR for, not when I discovered this, I think like 2 years. Just because of that. When was this published, so that I'm not lying? 2017, I was not lying, but about 2 years I would say it has been on my TBR. So this was one of those, when I saw it on the list of books for sale, I was like, I want to read that. I remember wanting to read that. You know how what Goodreads want to read list is. Things just disappear from it, and then maybe if you look through it, you will find something that you remember. But this one I remember without that, so brilliant. So this is Austral by Paul Macaulay. This is a fantasy book. Again, I got it on the sale. And this follows Austral, who's on Husky, who's a human that has been genetically altered so that she can survive in another climate that humans really can't, and she can edited person adapted to the unforgivable climate of the Antarctic Peninsula. So yeah, and this is Austral is a criminal, and in a desperate need of money, I guess. She has kidnapped a girl, and now she's hiding from this gang before they can pay her, because they are after her and they want to find the girl. And this is her story. So I guess it's one of those, we follow these events and then we get kind of backwards what happened. Yeah, this intrigued me, and also the cover intrigued me. So yeah, another one that actually has been on my TBR. Then we have the last book that I got full price, and that's The Princess Beard by Delilah S. Dawson and Kevin Hearn. This is the third and final book. I don't think there will be more books in the Tales of Pell series. So this is a humorous satire series that put a spin on the classic tropes and makes things more fun. And in this one we are following one of the characters that we see in the first book when she becomes a pirate. I don't really want to know more. Hopefully this will be fun. And then I have Night of the Silver Circle by Duncan M. Hamilton. This is the sequel to The Dragon Slayer that I have not read, but I own it. This is set in a world where dragon has been declared extinct for thousands of years, I believe. And in the first book, a dragon wakes up, and some alcoholic retired soldier needs to kill it off. This is the sequel. It's pretty short, so I should not really have any problems reading them. I really like the way the covers are made with these kind of like blurry, they are really cool, very shiny also. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's the second book in a trilogy, and the third book has come out. It was not on sale, otherwise I probably would have picked that one up as well. Let's be real. So the last book that I have here is Across the Void by S.K. Vaughan, and this is about a woman who is the sole survivor after her ship blows up when they are trying to get to Europe, a moon of Jupiter. And the only one who can save her or help her is her ex-husband, who after she broke his heart, I think it was she who did that, yeah, she broke his heart, and he then left her and the space mission, but now he needs to be called back so that he can help her. Basically this reminded me a lot of The Martian in the way it was presented, and this was before I read The Martian, but yeah, I want to read this. It's way bigger than I thought it was going to be. This was on the sale, and when I was looking for it, I was like looking for a Mouse Maker paperback because it was really cheap, and no, it's this really big tall paperback. But yeah, looking forward to it. It's almost 500 pages, so there's that. The last book I'm going to talk about here is the February Illumicrate box. So if you've not opened yours yet, which I think you should have, I do think that everyone got it at the beginning of March because it was slightly delayed. And the one we got was the Midlife Life by Marie Utkowski. She wrote the Venus Curse trilogy. I have not read that one. I don't know if I ever will. But yeah, this follows a woman who, her name is Nirim, and she meets this guy called Sid who basically says that he shouldn't trust her, but she should trust him, and something about the king having magic. I don't know. It does sound interesting. It wasn't necessarily on my TBR as such, but yeah, as I said, not really on my TBR, but not something that when I read a synopsis I go, However, at the moment I have a very bad feeling about, YA. So yeah, we'll probably get to this way in the future. Let's face it, I might get into a YA mood at one point, but right now, YA fantasy, no. So, those are all the 12 books that I got in March. So far, I've finished 4. I love reading clumps, don't you? See you next time. Oh wait, what book was your favorite that you purchased or read in March? Preferably purchased so that I don't have to feel too bad about how many I got. See you next time. Bye.